Hello everybody and welcome to the next episode of the 2016 F1 Career Mode, where we are back at the Toro Rosso. And from the last episode, it didn't really go well. We made a poor strategy in the race, and our engineer has given us a bit of a bollocking. So we need to pick our game up for this race, and we are at Spain. Is a great track for me, and just want to say, guys, for the next few episodes, they will be highlighted, unfortunately, because I'm currently away. I'm going to be away for a few days, so I'm going to get some videos out for you guys. It's better than nothing, and I can sincerely apologise for it being live. So we're at Spain, and in qualifying, it was a wet qualifying, and we are starting P5 on the grid, which is a massive achievement, with Sainz, our teammate, in 4th, so we're doing absolutely well. Just want to put a little bit of a disclaimer. We did go for an upgrade off-air, guys. We have gone for a drag upgrade, which will come in at Monaco, which will be quite good for you guys. But without further ado, we're jumping straight into the race then, for the Spanish Grand Prix, and it's live.
Good afternoon from a very familiar setting. It's race day here in Spain, and with everything still to play for in the championship battle, there's no room for mistakes in a Grand Prix that's well known for creating them. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Anthony Davidson is here with me today. Together we'll be taking you through all the action of this Spanish Grand Prix. It can be hard for the cars to follow each other closely here due to the dirty air coming off the car in front, so perhaps we're looking at a more strategic Grand Prix out. What do you think on that?
I'm not too sure about that, Crofty. I mean, yes, as you say, it's hard to follow around here, but if you're brave on the brakes, you can get the job done down into turn 1, which is a medium-speed corner, so you have to be committed. And looking down at this grid today, I think we're going to see 1 or 2 drivers making a move from a long way back, maybe try to force their opponent into a mistake. I don't think this is a race that's going to be purely decided in the pit stops.
You should have some space going into the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Alonso, Sainz, a Toro Rosso, and Button, Hulkenberg.
So we are on the grid, guys, for the Spanish Grand Prix, and as you heard, again, Crofty thinks we're just a Toro Rosso driver. Oh well. For the race then, we had a wet qualifying, which means we can start on any tyre we want. And for this race, we are going to be doing the one-stop strategy, which is only 9 seconds quicker than the low tyre management one. So we are going to be going for the one-stop strategy here and see if we can pull off a great performance. I'm trying to go for a top 5, but we'll see how it goes. Spain has been a bit of a bad track for me in the past, so we'll see how this goes. If you're new, guys, make sure to like this video and to subscribe for more F1 content. And as you can see, actually, our teammate Sainz is on the same tyre as us, so it's a good strategy call by the team. So Sainz is among the same tyre strategy as us, so we're on the medium tyre along with Sainz, so we're both on the same strategy. So maybe Toro Rosso are going to be doing a bit of a cheeky strategy, so I'm just going to warm the tyres up though. It should be a short formation now. The lap's around about a 1:19, so we should be alright. Going to get right up to the back of Sainz there, our teammate. Button behind is on the soft tyre. He is going to be doing a free stopper today, unless they put off some amazing strategy, the McLaren boys. So it's going to be a 33 lap race, I think it is. It's quite a long one, but as I said, short lap time, so should be alright though. coming then into the hairpin. The big surprise, though, has to be Fernando Alonso in P3 on the grid, which is a great achievement for the McLaren team. But just many teams got absolutely bamboozled with the weather. Hamilton, Raikkonen, Rosberg, Verstappen, to name a few, down the pecking order, which has made this really bizarre grid for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. So can we do a Max Verstappen here and win in our first season basically in a team? So that'll be a great achievement. So we're landing then on the grid then for the Spanish Grand Prix as we just get into our box now. So we're going to be going in then into our box, and we're a bit far right than normal, which is a bit bizarre, but I think the game puts you there.
The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
So here we go then, lads. Round 5 of our career mode on F1 2016 is away, and it's a very brilliant start, I've got to say. We've already passed our teammate, and we are up to P4, so what a good start that is from us. Look at the bamboozle of cars there. We're going to try and defend from our teammate into turn 1, and Alonso's actually going for the lead of the race, and he's actually pulled it off. What a move there from Alonso. He's got, oh, and he lost it there, so I'll take that back. But Alonso, a great start then, passing Ricciardo, and Ricciardo's on the same tyre as us as well, so that's going to be quite interesting. This is a bit of a inter-team battlery between the Red Bull lots in the Red Bull program, which is going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. As we come into this middle part of the lap then, right in the back of Ricciardo there. No idea what the Alonso and Vettel are on, so it will be interesting to see what strategy they would be doing, but Ricciardo is on the one-stop strategy along with us, along with Sainz, so we've got to be very vigilant on strategy call here, but we'll have to see as we come down the straight then towards the last sector then. And Alonso's on the, I think that's the hard tyre, I'm not sure, it could be the hard or the soft tyre, can't tell from that distance. I think Vettel's on the softs as well. As we come into the last couple of corners then. And so far, I've got to say, a very clean start from us there. And Vettel is indeed on the soft tyre, so I think Vettel and Alonso are on the soft tyre, whilst me, Ricciardo and Sainz are on the prime, the hardest tyre. Which, no, actually no, the medium tyre, I apologise. As we're just trying to get away from our teammate. We're starting to build a gap then to our teammate, which is what I wanted. As we go purple in the first sector, but that's just typical because it is the second lap is our proper lap. So this is going to be interesting actually. I think Vettel's up there in the championship contentions and also Ricciardo as well. The question is, where are the Mercedes? That's the question. They're going to be working their way through the pack. Just a bit of a tank slapper there. To get a bit of slipstream then from Ricciardo then as we come in to the last sector once again, and we're still purple, but obviously that is typical. This is our first proper lap, and our goal's only 9th as well, which is interesting. So this is very good from us right now, very good pace, and we need to not make the same mistake as we did last time out in Russia. We don't want to be making that same mistake, and we hope to get the tyres up to temperature, the hard tyres, and hopefully get to the end of the race on them. So we'll see how that goes. As the DRS has been enabled now for the race. Just checking behind, and there's a bit of a gap then to Sainz, which is definitely what I needed. So the pace is good, but I will say the McLaren is actually doing very well. It's holding its position in second place and is not far behind Vettel. So Vettel's only slowly crawling away. Button's up to P5. So McLaren have got a lot of pace in that car right now, which is obviously good for any McLaren fans out there. Arav. So Jensen Button is up to P5 and will be hunting us down. Obviously he is on the softer tyre than us, so we're going to be slower than him. But it seems the medium tyre is very comfortable in these conditions right now, which is a massive factor. And we get the DRS on Ricciardo up ahead, which is definitely what we need. As we've gone purple in the middle sector. So for the first time, I think, in the season, we could be going for a fastest lap here, boys. For the first time this season. Definitely what we needed.
Conditions to remain dry for a while. We will update you if the outlook changes.
That's definitely not what we wanted to hear from Jeff. But Jeff's been very quiet than normal, which is a good thing. As we hit the curb there, didn't want to do that. Just lose a bit of time to Ricciardo. Remember, guys, just playing it cool. Got plenty of time. Let's move on to lap 4. The gap's 1.2 seconds.
Is 3.5 seconds.
So we've got at least 3 seconds on our teammate, which is definitely what we need. I want to beat Sainz in this race. That is my challenge for this race. A podium would be fantastic, but it all depends on if Ricciardo gets past Alonso here and we can catch up to him. But it's very close at the front of the pack. Literally all three are all in a line right now. Maybe about half a second between each other. Ricciardo is actually catching up to the pack now of Alonso and Vettel. So maybe the soft tyres are going off the cliff already, or starting to. Something to consider, guys. But again, we are just playing it safe right now, being very cautious on our tyres here. We're going to try and get these out as long as possible, these medium tyres, before going on to the hard. So we come then into the hairpin section, and as someone's mentioned in the chat, if you're watching this live, I'm actually doing well. For the first time this season, apart from China, we are actually doing well. And I'm going for a penaltyless run here. So I may jinx that right there, but I want to try and go for a race without a penalty. So a 3-second penalty or something like that. But so far, no penalties yet, no warnings. And we're keeping a nice gap to Button now. The gap's 3 seconds as we've set a new fastest lap, a 26.9. As there's been a change of the lead, as Alonso has taken the lead of the race. So let's get some hype in the chat for the McLaren boys, if any McLaren fans are in the chat right now, as Alonso is leading the Spanish Grand Prix, where I think Vettel's tyres have gone already, as we've gone purple in the first sector once again. Just gain a bit of momentum, just get a bit of dirty air as always. Not what I needed there. But the two front runners are definitely struggling now on their tyres. Definitely starting to struggle now, right now. You just take a bit of a cheeky cut there, but it is legit right now. But I've never seen Fernando Alonso leading a race on his home patch as well. What madness is going on in this race right now? And Button's only a few tenths off us actually, so it's not too bad here. But the scenes right now are ridiculous. I've never seen this. Oh, that's way too much curb there. That's way too much inside curb. But we will get DRS on Ricciardo, which is what we definitely need. And I think Vettel's going to take back the lead here. Just lost a tenth and a half in the last sector. And Vettel's going down the inside of Alonso. And it will be Vettel taking back the lead of the race. So it's Vettel from Alonso, from Ricciardo, from myself, and Button in. So McLaren are actually having a stellar of a race here. And so are Russell actually. I think Sainz is still in P6, so that's good as we go purple once again in the first sector. Obviously with the help of DRS there, so that helps us a bit. Vettel's starting to pull away from Alonso, so maybe Alonso starting to maybe fall off a bit. Just the back end slid out there. Starting to get a bit of feel for the car now. We're into the dirty air of Ricciardo. Back end slid out there. Not what we needed. As we come into the hairpin once again. Gap's about 6 tenths of a second at the sector point. It's probably less than that now. So we're right on the back of Ricciardo. Vettel's starting to pull away now. He's increased his engine mode setting or something like that because he's picked up some pace. So we lose the back end there once again. Just that last sector being a bit tricky for us. with this car. So we need to see how we go. We've got to get DRS again. And Alonso now is going to be a sitting duck. As here comes Ricciardo, then down the inside he goes on Alonso, and Alonso loses out again and drops to P3. So Alonso, I think, is definitely starting to struggle on his soft tyres. Vettel doing very well on his tyres, and look at the grip we've got to Alonso right now. As we've got a nice run on the Spaniard, as we're going to come in to turn, I think it's turn 4. We're going to go down the inside of him, giving him a bit of space on the outside. He's still with us, and he's still with us actually. He's holding it very nicely there. We're on the outside, and we're going to try and hook it round the outside, and we do it nicely there. So what a move, and we lose it there, but we keep the position on Alonso, and we move up into the podium positions for the first time this season. We are in the top 3 of this race legitimately without any pit stops involved. So great feeling that is, as Ricciardo's the next man who's up to P2. So me and Ricciardo in a very good position right now, as the rest of the pack are on the free stopper, whilst me and Ricciardo are going to be on the 1 stop. So it seems the Red Bull outlet are very good on their tyres around here, which is interesting to say the least. So we come then into the last sector we go. Can we nail this sector for the first time? We're just going to avoid the curbs here, just to stop us from losing the back end that we have done previously. We get a good exit out of the corner. And that I thought, oh, that scared me there, the sound. I thought for a second there we had a puncher or something like that, but it's all good. As Vettel and Alonso pit from their thing, as Button will have to stay out. Obviously with Alonso pitting, so he's going to probably lose out here. As me and Ricciardo will continue on. So we're going to try and catch up to Daniel here. Obviously Daniel is one of my favourite drivers, so I don't want to be taking out my favourite driver right now, but it is a Red Bull outlet 1-2 right now. And I think Ricciardo's playing the waiting game here. I think he's trying to save a bit of his tyres here. Obviously we're going to lap 13 as we lose the back end there. As we come into the section here, get the DRS luckily. We've got plenty of fuel as well, which is definitely what I need. Come into the hairpin section once again. The gap's 5 seconds to Button, so I think Button is definitely struggling on his tyres right now. As we come into the slow section once again, braking very early for the corner. Just don't want to hit those curbs. We made a mistake. Thanks, Jeff, for informing me that what I know already. We're going to get a good exit though. I don't think we're going to get past Ricciardo here, but we're going to be very, very close as we've got to come across the end of the straight. And look at the speed we've gained on Ricciardo. Just can't get the move done though. We're going to take a bit of a wide line then. Oh, don't want that. So we've got Hamilton up to P3 on the the medium tyres as well. So got to keep an eye out for Lewis actually in this race, because he could put a spanner in the works for quite a few people. So we have to see where he's going to come out in all of this. Now he's in clean air and on the hard tyres. Ricciardo's made a mistake there, but just can't get the move done in this part of the lap. We've got to wait until at least the DRS zone, just coming up right now after this corner. So we've got to see if we can get ever closer to the Australian and get a good little run on him here, and just can't get it done yet. So our only chance really is the long straight here. So can we take the lead of the race for a legitimate first place right now? So it's going to be very close here between me and Ricciardo. So it's going to be a very action-packed race this is. We just can't overtake here, so we've got to stay behind Danny Rick here. And Rick's got a very good exit than us, but we have got a better one as well. Not lost too much time. We just go a bit wide there with the dirty air. And down the straight then with the DRS. Can we get past Ricciardo then? Down the straight. Here we go then. Getting a lot of speed here. And we're going to take the inside on Ricciardo. And we just about held it there. Bit of a cheeky lock up there. And we take the lead of the race then. For the first time this series, I can legitimately say we are leading a race. But Ricciardo will be all over the back of us then throughout this stint. So we just need to hold out right now. on these tyres, and maybe got to get them to lap 13, remember guys. That's the main magic number that we need for the hard tyre for the cut-off point. So looking alright at the minute. Rosberg now sets the fastest lap as 26.0 as we lose the back end there. So we had a bit of traffic as well to get past. And Ricciardo's going to get DRS here, which is going to help him a lot with his Renault engine here. And look at the speed he's getting now. He's not going to get us though, which is alright. But he will get us most likely at the long straight. Hamilton's gained 3 temps on us in that sector, so we've got to keep an eye out on Lewis. Lewis and the Mercedes still have a sniff of a victory here today, so they've got a lot of work to do. If me and Ricciardo keep battling, then it's going to be a very spicy race. This reminds me Ricciardo versus Vettel, this does. Vettel-esque right now, as Ricciardo's got a good exit, and he's going to most likely take the lead of the race again. And here he comes then with the DRS, and look at the dominance of DRS around here. Just can't get it done, can't defend well, and Ricciardo takes back the lead of the race. So it's going to be a switch of positions there, but we're going to get a very good exit then off this corner. Just can't get the move done though, which is a bit unfortunate. And we will continue actually, so we'll see how this goes. And we're still in it though. Hamilton's gaining on us ever so slightly though. That's the worry right now. Hamilton's going to be the one to watch out for in this race. I think he's the dark horse to win this race, considering where he started as well. That's going to be the factor right now. As we go into the hairpin then once again, Hamilton's now down to 7 seconds, so that's a worry for me. And our tyres on the front left there, as you can see, 42%, so that's very high from us right there. And 50% onwards, you need to be thinking about pitting, so we need to see what Ricciardo does here. If he pits early, he is on a 2-stopper, and he's not, he's staying out, which is legit. So we're going to get on the slipstream then of Ricciardo, and this could be another take of the lead of the race here. We have to wait and see. We've got to get a lot more speed. We are in the 2015 spec Ferrari. We're going to be braking late than him here into turn 1, and Ricciardo's holding it actually. We've got to hold it around the outside and holds on. So good defensive there from Ricciardo. We just can't get it done, you see. Just can't get the positions done. What we need. And it's just bringing Hamilton in ever slowly. He's now 7.4 seconds behind, so definitely not what we need here. But I'm so happy with my performance here. The setup feels fantastic, and the upgrades are actually good around this track. But was thinking of a move here, but just can't get it done there. And we're just going to have to hold station for the time being. So the big factor here, we need to really stay ahead of Vettel, or close to Vettel and Alonso. And just can't get the move here, so we're just going to back it off here and just turn it in nice and smoothly. And we get it done there. Back end stood out again. And can we hold it off here? We can indeed. And it's a good little exit, and we continue on our merry ways. So we are being scheduled to come in this lap. Hamilton's lead gap down is now 6.9, so another half a second there. So me and Ricciardo fighting is really helping out Hamilton here. So I would suggest getting your popcorn ready, because we could be having a three-way scrap here for the victory in Spain. Maybe even more than that. We have to wait and see as we continue on this race. And we've gone purple in the first sector, which is what we needed right now. Back end starting to slide out a bit there, just giving us a sign of the... Shut up, Jeff. There we go. As I was saying, I think it's time to pit this time. I'm going to try and jump Ricciardo in the pit stop window here. It's going to be very close, I think, once he pits, if he does another lap. So we're going to see what this is going to do. But we will be pitting this time, guys, right about now. So we come then into the hairpin section once again, getting a bit of grip here right now. And we will be boxing this time. If Ricciardo pits now, I may stay out another lap just to try and jump him here. Jump up to rich mode mix 3. We've got plenty of fuel as well. We just go a bit wide. That we did not need to do. So if Ricciardo pits, we will stay out. And he is staying out, so we're going in. It's time for an undercut, boys. And we get it nicely into the box, and we will be going there. So we'll see how this goes. For the pits, obviously for teammates not in the pits, which is what we want, as Sainz will continue on. There he is. And we will go onto the hard tyres, which will get us to the end of the race, guys. So that's a massive thing. There comes Vettel then. So Vettel's got to be out there. Perez, we need to get ahead of Perez. That's the goal there. Can we get ahead of him? We do indeed. So we've only not really lost out there as much as I would like. So that's not too bad from us there. Now we've got to really push now and see if we can catch up there. So we obviously Vettel pitted early, so is he going to get to the end of those hard tyres? It's a big question point. I think Vettel's going to be going out again. He's on the medium tyre which we were on, so he will be quicker than us, but he will be faster at the end because obviously he's going to be going on to a set of the soft actually he's going to be on this tyre actually, so that's going to be interesting. Or he may go on to another set of the medium tyres, so we'll have to wait and see what he does, but he will be quicker than us and he will be hunting us down, I will say as well. As you can see, Ricciardo's just coming out of the final corner. Is he going into the pit lane? I think he is in from the lead of the race, and we just make a bit of a mistake there, which I did not want there. So the question is, what tyres will Ricciardo go on? Would he be on the same tyre as us, or would he be going on to the set of the hards? That's going to be the question, as we will find out momentarily then, as we will come through as Sainz now enters the pits. So he's going to lose out quite massively here, Sainz, from a massive overcut. Honestly, there's Ricciardo actually, just coming out the pit lane. And he's actually got ahead of us there, Ricciardo. So he's got a bit of a jump there on us, which is not what I want. But Vettel will lead the race then from myself and Vettel. As Ricciardo, don't go on Ricciardo here. He's just very slow out of the corners. Hamilton now is out as well on the hard tyre. So it's going to be very interesting now between me, Ricciardo and Hamilton. And Hamilton's gap is actually decreased quite massively there. You can just see him right there. So Hamilton's going to be in the mix here for the victory, as I've mentioned, but that Mercedes is just too OP at the minute to fight with, so it's going to be very close, this is. But we're just matching Red Bull's pace, which is fantastic. Just giving a bit of a cheeky word to Helmut Marko and Christian Horner. Look, I'm here to be at the biggest team in Formula 1. Wink, wink. So we'll see how this goes as we come into the hairpin then. Once again, Hamilton's gap is down to 5.9 seconds. So that's going to be very interesting then, how that pans out, as we're going to be going right on the edge there with Ricciardo, as we're going to be braking then once again right on the back then, and just can't get past him in this section, which is actually helping out Hamilton here close that gap down, which is a massive factor there as we lose the back end. And once again, but Vettel's gap has to be increased quite a lot here if he's got any chance of winning this race. He has to build a gap, and then he's going to hunt me and Ricciardo and Hamilton down for the win here. I don't know what tyre he's going to be on though at the end. He could be on another set of the mediums, so we'll have to wait and see. We're going to take a bit of a different line then to Ricciardo, and it's a brilliant exit. Oh my lord, that was close, but he's going to hold it behind him for the time being. We've gone purple then in the first sector. I think Ricciardo's gone quickly as well, which is good, but Hamilton's going even quicker, so that's a very, very worrying sign here. Just a bit of a wide line, not what I wanted to take. As just go for a move there, but just nowhere to go really. Just can't make that move. It's a difficult corner to pass, and we'll hold it for now. So the only place we can overtake, as I mentioned, is this straight here where the DRS is, but it's very short really, the DRS here. So we have to wait until the pit straight, as we're going to be braking once again, and Hamilton's gap is 5.7 on Ricciardo there. Massive lock up there, and we just lose the back end there off the racing line on the marbles, which I didn't really want to do, but I had to avoid Ricciardo there. I don't know what was going on there. He just locked up massively into that hairpin, and we just have to avoid him, as we have got simulation damage on here, guys, so I didn't want to make any contact as we saw in Russia, it really affected our downforce there, which is not what we want. So the gap now is up to 4.8 seconds from the lead from Ricciardo. So 5.6 seconds covers myself, Ricciardo and Vettel. So that's going to be very spicy if Vettel increases the gap even more once he pits from the lead. So Ricciardo is the net race leader theoretically, unless Vettel somehow pulls off the strategy of the century. So we'll have to see if he can hold out as long as possible. But I think there's a bit of a glitch here, as we've gone purple once again in the first sector. So I don't know what's going on there. So it's a bit of a strange one, that one on there. But the AI, as I mentioned, are very strong on this track, especially in the last sector. So we'll see how that pans out, as we just got to come through then and hunt down Ricciardo once again, as we're going to be on the slip on the back of him then. Coming down the straight then we go, and we're going to hunt him right down, as we're now only 3 tenths behind Hamilton though, 4.4 seconds. He is on a charge then, is the Englishman. Obviously our fellow Brit, and it would be nice to beat a fellow Brit, be the best Brit in the race, which will be obviously a great achievement for me, beating the likes of Hamilton, Button, Palmer, and the cloud skies, as you can see, are starting to get a bit dark. I don't know if you can see it there, but they are starting to get a bit cloud, so maybe the chance that the conditions may change later on in the race. But Vettel's gap's 5.6 seconds to Ricciardo, and the gap to him is 7 tenths of a second. So, and as you saw there, Hamilton's gained even more time on us. So Hamilton is the quickest man out of the 4 of us here. As we're going to try and get past, we need to get past Ricciardo because he is holding us up here. We've got a brilliant exit. We're going to go down the inside into turn 4, but Ricciardo just chops us off there. In his right, he can do that if he wants, as the back end slides out again on these hard tyres. And I think for the first time since when we are compared to Russia, we are absolutely, I am absolutely loving these tyres right now. Absolutely brilliant, these tyres. They're doing me the will of good here, keeping me within the track and stuff like that. No worries at all. But we're right on the back of Ricciardo here, so we could be getting a pass here. We've got a lot of speed. We've got to go round the outside of him into the hairpin. We've got to give him the room on the inside, and we'll hold it round the outside. Just get pushed off there just a little bit on Ricciardo, and we've got to give back the place because we were off the track, and it is deemed an illegal overtake if you pass him outside of the white line. So if we committed to the move, then we would have been given a warning and to allow Ricciardo back. So that is encouraging signs for me personally. But you can see Hamilton now 4 seconds behind right now. And this is even helping Vettel out, that me and Ricciardo are fighting. That's not what we need right now. Look at the gap now, 2.9 seconds, but we've got a lot more straight line speed than Ricciardo. And we take back second place from him now as Hamilton is hunting us down. So I wonder what you guys are thinking in the chat right now, watching this live right now on YouTube. Who do you think's going to win this race? Me, Ricciardo, or Hamilton? I would love to see what you guys think in the comments below at this point. And it's going to be a very exciting end to this race. We've only got, what, 14 laps to go? 15 laps to go, actually. So it's going to be very close. We've gone a bit too deep into the corner. Not what I wanted here. Not what I needed. So coming then into the middle sector then. Just finding the grip levels we need. We've got to see where we can go with this, as we haven't got DRS unfortunately, obviously, because we're ahead of Ricciardo. But you can see Vettel there just coming out of the hairpin section there. He's got a 7-second lead, which is obviously a massive factor there. And we're going to see how we go with this, as we have to be cautious. We've got to get these tyres to the end, remember guys. The tyres have to get to the end of the race, as we are committed to the one-stop strategy, which is definitely what we need to do. As we go into the hairpin section we go, and once again, and the gap's 7.2 seconds, so we're going to find out what that gap is right now. But Ricciardo is going to be ahead of us here, I feel, by the end of the straight. It's 8.1 seconds, and here comes Ricciardo. Look at the straight line speed of the Red Bull. Easily passes us there into before turn 1, and Ricciardo takes back second place from us as Hamilton now. Look at the gap now. He is on the hunt as we're going to go round the outside of Ricciardo. Just can't get it done though on the marbles there, and we will hold station for the time being, and we just need to think of a different strategy now. on how to pass Ricciardo at the right point on the track. But as I said, Hamilton is right there. You can see him now. So Hamilton's had a brilliant race here, as Ricciardo's had a bit of a poor exit. We're going to take the inside of this corner, a bit of wheel banging there, and my arms are in disgust at Ricciardo. I don't know what was going on there with Danny, and not what we wanted. I think Ricciardo's struggling, I don't know what's going on with him, but he is struggling right now. And we're going to maybe go for a late move, just can't get it done though. Not what we need. And Hamilton then is right on us now, so it's going to be very interesting going down the straight if we get passed by Hamilton while we're passing out Ricciardo. So you can just see Hamilton there right on our gearbox. Right, oh, this is going to be fun. This last couple of laps. Remember guys, to leave your suggestions on who you think will win this race, as we're going to have to go up to Rich now. We have to defend from Hamilton right about now. We have to, as Vettel actually pits from the lead, so he's going to be on to a set. Oh, I don't know what tyres is going on actually, but we're going to go down the inside of Ricciardo into turn 1, and we should be able to get the move done. We do indeed, and we take the lead of the race then. With only nearly 13 laps to go of this Spanish Grand Prix. Oh, we're going to pull off a miracle here, but look at the clouds, guys, on the left hand of your screen, getting darker, so maybe there is rain coming. I'm not too sure if there is, but we'll have to wait and see. So I may have to ask Jeff in a minute what the weather is, so we've got to be thinking about that. But as the clouds come, would it affect the tyres? So we need to see what Jeff says in the minute. We'll wait until the straight. But at the minute, it's myself from Ricciardo who's being absolutely pressurised by Hamilton right now. So it may help us a little bit, so we need to see how that goes. Weather report.
Conditions should remain dry. We will keep you informed of any changes to the weather.
Okay, that's encouraging signs then, guys. It won't rain at the minute, so that's what we needed to hear. So that's a great sign. Well, now, so Vettel on the 2-stop strategy at the minute. Me, Ricciardo and Hamilton on the 1-stop. So it's going to be very interesting as we just go a bit wide there. Locking the front right. Not what I needed there. So we need to check the tyres actually. I want to make sure. 21%, they're okay. What we needed. But I'm going to get absolutely swamped on right now down this straight from Ricciardo and Hamilton. As here they come then. Down the straight. And Hamilton's actually backed off there. But we're going to break a bit later into this corner. Going to try and hold around the outside. And we've done it brilliantly. Defending a lead from the race. What a brilliant defensive strategy there from me. And Ricciardo has to settle back for 2nd place. But this is going down to the wire. This is going to be interesting. We've got to think about Vettel as well. Obviously, he is on the 2-stopper and on fresher tyres, so it's going to be interesting. There is Vettel. You can see him there. And this is just bringing them in ever closer. This is going to be very... Oh, we got wide. Not what I wanted there. And it's bringing them back into contention then. Ricciardo and Hamilton getting a little sniff right there. As we just... The back end slides out all over the place. It's like a skating rink right now on this track. So maybe these tyres aren't the ones to be on in these conditions right now. So it's going to be very, very close, this is. And we're just going to defend then from Ricciardo and Hamilton. So I've got to admit, Hamilton is the driver of the day by a country mile right now. From the positions he gained on the grid, it's absolutely ridiculous. He started in 15th place and he's up to 3rd. So a fantastic performance from Hamilton. As we go wide again, so we're starting to struggle a bit for grip here on these hard tyres, so we've got to commit to this 1-stop, so we have to cope out the last few laps of this race. And look at the grip Ricciardo's got, and we're going to be absolutely swamped here by both Ricciardo and Hamilton down the straight, and they both go through. Maybe, no they won't. We're going to break us. Vettel now, as you can see, sets the fastest lap, and Ricciardo, I don't know what's gone wrong with him there, but we have took back the lead of the race again. The same move we did on the last lap, so very, very close that is. But with 10 laps to go then of this Spanish Grand Prix, Vettel's coming back at a massive rate here. You can just see him there on the map. But this has to be, if it stays as it is and the action stays as it is, one of the best races I've ever done for any career mode episode. So if you've got anyone you know, make sure you tell them about this race, because this race is going to be one of the most classic races I've ever done on a career mode episode. So if you want to see more of this, guys, and you're not new to the channel, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap a subscribe on this channel for more F1 content like this, as we're going for 10,000 subscribers. We're only nearly 500 subs away from the magical 10,000, which is just an absolutely amazing achievement for myself, being mainly independent and not really doing any work with anyone or anyone like that. All solo work here. So just lose the back end then. Into the chicane section we go. We're coming to 10 to go then at the line. And are we going to try and do a Max Verstappen moment here and hold off the big names of Ricciardo and Hamilton? It's going to be down to the wires. Here comes Ricciardo. Then we're going to have to defend from the inside this time and hold off Ricciardo, who may hold it around the outside, but he just can't get it done. And we hold on to the lead, but the back end is sliding everywhere right now. As you can just see Vettel there through turn 1, and he's going to be right near us at the end of the race, but it's going to be nearly a 4-way horse. And I don't think I'll ever say that again, but we are bringing it back for you guys. The 4-way horse is back, and it's going to be very close. This is, or we'll say, because we're in the Toro Rosso, we're going to go for a 4-way bull. We'll say that right now. But this is going to be very close. So guys, in the chat right now, who do you think's going to win? We're going to throw Vettel in the mix then, and it's going to be a very close race. This is, as we're going to come then into the hairpin once again. Gaps 0.3 of a second then. Vettel is in the radar, guys. I can see him on the map then. As we're just going to have to defend now. We're still in rich at the minute, but I need to check the fuel just in case, as we've got plenty of fuel, so we could stay in rich to the end of this race, I feel. With 3.05 laps of fuel. That's what we needed there. Oh, back end slides out again. 4-way bullet is in the chat. I can see it right now as Ricciardo then takes back the lead. Hamilton will go past again and up to 3rd place he goes, but we're going to brake late than normal. Can we hold off Hamilton? And we're going to try and go around the inside of Ricciardo for the 3rd time in a row. 3 laps in a row. We hold it round the outside and take back the lead of this race. I don't know what Ricciardo is doing. Hamilton should really be following me if he wants to get past Ricciardo in this race. Oh, this is a classic race, this is. And don't count out Vettel, but look at the clouds, guys. It is overcast right now. The sunny conditions have gone, and maybe there could be a late twist in events right now of this Spanish Grand Prix, but we're doing everything in our power. We're doing the Verstappen strategy here, and we've actually built a gap to Ricciardo, so I don't know what's happened to Ricciardo, but look at the gap we've pulled already as he's fighting with Hamilton. So we're going to have to take this opportunity now, try and build the gap, get it over a second. That's the big goal for us here. Just can't get the power down. The back end screaming out there, just trying to get hold on to any grip possible here as we come then into the chicane section again. And I would say as well, guys, I don't know if anyone's noticed, we've had no penalties or corner cut warnings, so that's a massive achievement for me on there. We could be getting a clean race here. But look at the gap there to Ricciardo. But we're setting very good times and we're matching race pace. So this race is going to be going down to the wire. I see someone in the chat to put Ryan Bottleberg right now, but I don't think we're going to be Bottleberging right now if it continues like this. We've built a gap to Hamilton, to Ricciardo, and Hamilton's actually got past Ricciardo. I forgot to notice that. Hamilton's finally got past Ricciardo, and he's going to be hunting us down for the win. So if Hamilton wins this, I will take it on the chin, because Hamilton deserves the win if he pulls it off. Considering where he started on the grid, I've got to give him props, but Vettel is getting closer, guys. You can see him just coming around the hairpin right about now. So we're all going to be in one shot here down the straight, which is going to be very fun indeed, coming to the end of the race. So we've got plenty of fuel as well. I think we'll be fine, as I mentioned, to the end of the race, but we are starting to feel the grip now. So this is going to be fun right now, going into the last few corners. So this is going to be a fun end to this race, guys. What we needed to see. This is what career mode is all about. Getting a middle field team at the front of the field and to win the race would be fantastic. It would be the first win for Toro Rosso since Sebastian Vettel's victory in 2008 at, of course, Monza. If you guys don't remember that, it's a classic and you need to check it out online. As we come down the straight, then Hamilton's going to have the DRS, so we're going to try and defend it. We've set the fastest lap from our PB is Hamilton. Look at the speed in the Mercedes. He's just took the lead comfortably, so we need to get back on him, right on the back of him. So I think we've got too much downforce on the car here, which is actually helping us. And just Hamilton doesn't have the downforce in the sector in these twisty corners. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to make maybe a late move into the corner. And, oh, made a bit of contact there with Hamilton, but we have to give him back the position. But that's how close we're going to be to winning. We want to win this race. I really want to win this. I think we deserve it. I think you guys deserve a performance, a classic performance. We're going to get a good exit. We're going to maybe late break into turn 7, I think it is, and we get it done just about there. What a risky move that is, and we take the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix once again. This is going to be probably the most action-packed racing you guys will see right now in career mode videos so far in 2016. We're going to have we've got a 4-way ball right now. This is going to be very close, I've got to say. It will go down to the last lap. Who will be in first after turn 1 is going to be the big talking point. As we just go wide, our tyres are going off the cliff, which is obviously bringing in, and Sainz is out of the race, so a massive disappointment for our teammate, who was up there with us and having a strong qualifying session. And it's put him out of the race, and you can see him there on the map. Not what we want to see, but here comes Hamilton. Look at the speed he's got. Oh my lord, what speed he's got. We're going to maybe go for a late move into turn 1, and we're going to defend it there. Got to give Hamilton space on the inside, and we just about hold it there. Just about. And it's actually helping Vettel there. You can see Vettel now. We are all in one shot now. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Right about now, but one thing's for certain, we will beat Sainz in the objectives, so that's what we need to see right about now. We're going to dominate the objectives for this race, so that's what we need to see. But look at that shot, guys. All 4 of us in one lens, and it's going to be going to a photo finish, it seems, right now. We've got back markers, which will help us a bit. We've got a yellow flag out, and I think it's going to be for Sainz, still on the track, and there he is. He's parked on the left-hand side. Not a sight for any Toro Rosso fans or Sainz fans, especially on his home patch. Not what he wants to see, not what the Spanish fans want to see, and it's a shame, really, that has to happen in this race. And apparently I've got a pit for a puncher, but I don't think we have, and you can see the tyres are absolutely fine. So, oh, that was a moment there, and there's our first warning of a corner cut there. So the first one in 28 laps. So I'll take it on the chin, but we will have to defend. As really, I've got to think Vettel is the front runner to win this race right now. And you can see Hamilton once again gets the DRS. Oh, we made contact with Hamilton there, just trying to get back in the slipstream. We're going to have to maybe go for the late move, and oh my god, we went for the late move there. We've got to give Hamilton the position. But that was a scary moment there. We're just trying to go for the late move that we have done all the time, and it just didn't work for us there. But look at the grip in the rears, I've got to mention as well. 38% and 32%. That is fantastic. That means we will have better grip for the later stages of this race. But we did a bit of a bottle moment there, a Bottleberg moment, as someone mentioned. But just look at the grip. We've got so much grip compared to Hamilton, and we're just going to take the chance now. We're going to go down the inside into turn 7. We're side by side going through turn 7. What racing this is. Oh my lord, what is going on? We're going to try and go on the outside of Hamilton then into the DRS activation point. Oh, we've made contact with Hamilton, and that is most certainly going to be the end of our chance of victory there, but it had to happen. Hamilton came across us, and that has ended any hope of victory there. So we've still got time though. We've still got 4 laps to catch up then, but not what we needed there. That's a massive shame. That had to happen, but I'll leave it to you guys in the chat who's to blame for that. I mean, we had the outside line. Did Hamilton give enough space for us? We'll have to wait and see. But that is a massive shame. I mean, that is just... Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame. But I'll leave it to you guys in the chat who you think was it blame for that. My only chance of getting a podium is if the top 3 all fight each other. That's going to be the big question. And Ricciardo's actually fallen off Hamilton, so what I can say though from this is we have pace to hold off the likes of Ferrari, Red Bull, definitely not the Mercedes, not yet, as we just go wide. But we've got a nice gap to Raikkonen, so I think we're going to be no lower than 4th place then in this race, but it'll be interesting to see if Hamilton gets a penalty from the stewards, so we'll see. Lots of people saying Hamilton, some saying racing incident. Interesting calls in the chat, I've got to say, but we're watching this live, but we're still not going to give any hope here. We're still going to try and get something out of this. And we need to see, but as you can see, look at the traffic on the map, guys. I don't know if you can see it, but we've pulled some time on Ricciardo, so we've still got a bit of a glimmer of hope here that we can pull something off here in this race. But it's going to be very tough, I think, to get something from this race. We have to see as we come then into the section here and go into the slow section. This very tight chicane again. The gap, I don't know what the gap is right now, but we'll have to wait and see. Once we come across the line, from 6.9, it's 7.1, so we're not really gaining as much as I would have liked. But we've got a pit stop lead over Raikkonen, so I think we're going to be safe in 4th place. So we're going to come then into the section. I thought for a second there, I thought they were going to say Ricciardo, but that's a shame. But we gained half a second on Ricciardo actually in the first sector, so that's definitely encouraging signs. But I just think it's too late as the tyres are just going off the cliff now, which is a shame. But oh well, I just think our tyres are gone right now, which is a real shame. Oh, there's another track corner cut warning. But I will say, guys, I think you would agree with me. I think if you guys can let me know. Oh, didn't want to do that. That we've done a fantastic job to get where we are in this race. From a dismal, absolutely atrocious race in Russia, we're going to be in the top 5, which I will definitely take. Our best result of the season. Big chunk of points are coming our way as well, which is another thing we've got to mention as well. And I think you guys would agree, even though we made the contact with Hamilton, we will take this finishing position. I think you guys would agree with me right now. Someone's telling me to pit. I don't think I will pit, because I think you're trolling, mate, right now. And I've got to hope and pray that Ricciardo gets held up by the back mark, and I think he is actually being held up. I don't think you guys can see it right now. And I think he is actually being held up there, so this could be our moment. It's down to 6 seconds, the gap, right about now. But we've got to think about fuel as well. You can see it's going down then. It's going to be very tight on fuel. It's going to be close. And I can just see some cars up ahead, so I don't know what's going on then. But between Ricciardo and that back marker, so we'll have to wait and see. Stood up on fuel, so I think it's going to be very close on fuel right then, right at the end of this race. But you can just see, I think, Ricciardo, and I don't know who it is, fighting over positions, and it's the 2 Manners. I will take that back. It's the Manners. I thought for a second there it was Ricciardo, and it's not. It's the 2 Manners of Haryanto and Pascal Wehrlein fighting over their position. So I had a bit of a moment there where I thought, oh my god, we're going to catch up to Ricciardo. But it's Haryanto who is behind his teammate of Pascal Wehrlein. But we will go on to the final lap then of this race, of an absolutely classic race that had to go down a bit controversially with the damage from Hamilton and also myself. So a bit disappointed there, but the gap's down to 5 seconds, so we've actually gained quite a bit of time on Ricciardo. So I'll take that away, which is very, very encouraging signs, as Haryanto is just holding us up here. Get out of the way, my son. And he's away out of the pack. So I'm just hoping that Ricciardo gets held up by the next lot of traffic. That's going to be a big talking point. We've got Pascal Wehrlein, who I've got to say did a very impressive job in qualifying today for the Belgian Grand Prix. So massive shout out to Pascal Wehrlein, I've got to say. Right now, he's been given the blue flag, so he will be informed to let us through once we get close to him. And we've got plenty of fuel as well. And we'll get DRS, which is quite a nice little surprise. So that's thank you to Pascal for that, as he lets us through. And the gap's down to 5.1 seconds, but it's just too little too late right now. But we can take away from this race that the Toro Rosso has the pace to fight with the leaders of this race in some of the races. and it's a fantastic achievement from the team, a fantastic performance from myself, even though we made contact with Hamilton, who actually wins the race, so a bit controversial. But we're coming through then for an impressive 4th place in this race. I am very happy with that, and I will take that on the chin on there. So great performance from me, great 4th place, and we'll hear from Crofty now, as always.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
So there is Hamilton then. Very controversially wins the Spanish Grand Prix. It will be talked about, I'm going to be honest. I will be looking back at the footage to see what went wrong there. But I've got to say, we're only one step off the podium, and I am so chuffed that the Toro Rosso boys have done a fantastic job with the car. The setup felt absolutely brilliant in that last stage of the race on there. But as you can see, Hamilton, unfortunately, guys, won the race. And he came from 13th on the grid to win, so I've got to give him that.
Davidson, who would you go for?
Well, I have to give it to Lewis Hamilton. You know, it was
come on, Davidson, come on, mate. That's not cool. But Hamilton wins them from 0.2 of a second from Vettel, with Ricciardo 3.6 seconds behind, with myself in 4th, with Raikkonen in 5th, Rosberg in 6th, Perez in 7th, and Alonso, who had an amazing start in the race earlier on, finished in 8th, with Button 9th, and Hulkenberg completes the top 10 in the points paying position, with Grosjean and Bottas there in 12th and Verstappen in 13th, and down the pack Sainz, the unfortunate one who had to retire from the race, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll take it on anyway, guys. But what does this mean for the championship? It means that we are up to 8th place then, and ahead of our teammates by a point, which is a great feeling for me. From the struggles that we had, we are now ahead of our teammate then, as Vettel leads the way by 24 points from Hamilton, with Raikkonen now down to 3rd, with Rosberg 4th and Ricciardo in 5th as well. But what does that mean for the Constructors' Championship? We are now 4th, ahead of Force India now, which is fantastic, by 5 points, which is a great thing as well, with Red Bull in 3rd on 99. But Ferrari lead the way by only 29 points from Mercedes, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that works out for you guys. So that's going to be the end of the episode, guys, but before we go, I will mention that the next couple of rounds will be unfortunately commentated as I'm away, I'm afraid, as I'm going to see my girlfriend. So unfortunately we're going to be seeing some highlighted videos from Monaco and Canada, possibly Baku as well, but I'm going to try and leave Baku out for a live episode, as it is a new track. We've got 110 resource points, which is going to be quite handy for the next practice session. But look at this rivalry. This is going to be fun right about now. Look at that. We absolutely smashed it, and we are now ahead of Carlos Sainz there, which is what we need. And this is going to help us as well get out of that 0 position there, and we move up very cheekily up to seconds, to position 2, which is what we need. And this is what we definitely needed. A massive performance there, and we will take that on the chin. But that's going to be it, guys, for the race. And next time will be at Monaco. Now, I will say, guys, before that I let you guys vote for Spain for the tyre wear. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a glitch with the game, which kept me on balance. So for the next round at Monaco, we will be doing aggressive tyre strategy. And in the next episode, after Austria, not Austria, is it Austria? No, Canada, will be the return of the viewer votes. The viewer interaction votes, I will say. But I'm going to end it there, guys. So thank you very much for watching this episode. It has been one of the great races I've done on career mode. It had to end a bit of a shame. But I'll be back, guys, live for Baku, hopefully. If not, it will be for Austria on there. But I'm going to be away, as I mentioned, so I apologise for that. But it is what it is. And I'll see you guys very soon for another live stream. I'll be back tomorrow, actually, for the AOR social race. So make sure to keep your eyes out for that tomorrow at 8 PM UK time on YouTube, so keep your eyes out for that. But until next time, guys, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more F1 2016 content on this channel. Until then, guys, it has been Ryan. Have a fantastic evening whatever you're doing, and I'll see you guys very soon for another video on this channel. But until then, have a good day, guys, and take care. See you later.